guys come out and put up a good fight. Wanted to see AD play strong. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see any of that. This is not what we, drew up at the beginning of the season. I mean, there are no excuses, but there have been a plethora of injuries. And so this is where we are finding ourselves, standing right now. Uphill battle, big game tomorrow night, determining game tomorrow night. So we just have to hope that we can get everybody back healthy, regardless of what's going to happen. It's going to be a playing game or not. We got to get ready for whatever's going to happen. It's looking a little bit bleak right now, considering, the schedule we have left. But we just have to hope that we can get AD, LeBron back. I heard Reggie Miller on the telecast talking about it. If we get everybody back healthy, doesn't matter where we are, especially in this type of season, we just have to hope for the best in that category.
Yeah, more injuries, James. It's kind of a sad thing to see AD go down tonight. Eager to hear Frank Vogel talk about it because we all saw his ankle get tweaked. And then, of course, the report came out that there were some back spasms that were keeping him from returning to the game. Maybe AD himself talks tonight, although there is an NBA rule. If you leave a game because of an injury, you don't have to talk to the media afterwards. Bottom line, is he going to get on a plane, in an hour and a half and go up to Portland with the team? That game's up there tomorrow night. And that game, frankly, is bigger than this game. Even if the Lakers had won this game, tomorrow night's game is the big game. It's basically a double game because you're talking tiebreaker at stake. Right now, the Lakers and the Blazers 1-1 in the season series. Whoever wins tomorrow, they win that tiebreaker, Geet. So it really is a 2-for-1 situation for either team tomorrow.
Big game. You just saw right there how it happened. Literally on signage after shooting a three and backpedaling. Yeah. I mean, the hits just kind of keep coming for this team. I mean, it's been a run of this kind of stuff. I mean, listen, you go into the game tonight. Let's look at this first, though, big game. You can see him grab that ankle, and you can see it roll the way you don't want it to.
He's wincing pretty badly right there, obviously.
Yeah. You think about the injuries. You think about LeBron's injury. A guy probably making an unnecessary dive through LeBron's body. Freak injury. Backing up after shooting a three, hitting the signage after just coming back from being out for a long time. That's kind of freaky. You get Schroeder at the wrong time of the season, out 10 for 14 games, in addition to Tucker out, a couple games. So this is the way it's been for everybody. Donovan out in Utah, Murray out in Denver. You got Butler in Miami. You got it's everywhere because of what happened last year. Quick turnaround. So this is where we find ourselves in a must-win tomorrow night to have that tiebreaker. So that's the way it is.
Yeah, by the way, Lakers 7-12 without LeBron and AD in the lineup. They've yet to play a game without LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Dennis Schroeder. So that could be a first tomorrow night. Again, we don't know if AD is going to even go to this game. There's a chance he's going to play in this game. So it's a little bit premature to just say that, but you take a look at the standings there. Lakers do have the edge right now over Portland. They have a better Western Conference record. It's actually by a comfortable margin. They have about a 2.5-game lead on Portland just in conference games. Of course, the new tiebreaker tomorrow will be the final game in the 3-game series for those teams. Someone's going to be 2-1 against the other one after tomorrow night, and that'll be the new tiebreaker.
James, hard to find your way or your rhythm when you can't count on a consistent lineup. And that's where I think we're finding this Laker team. Every time you try to take a step forward, you take a couple steps back. I mean, honestly, you go into tonight without 3 point guards. You only have 3 point guards on the team. Now Alex Caruso's running point, and of course he can. He's a guard. He's a point guard as well. I mean, he's, usually plays the off-guard position. But it's like going into I saw a tweet tonight about it's like going into a football game without quarterbacks, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's
you can play a style and you could do okay, but it just seems that's what keeps happening to this team. I mean, there was a graphic tonight they showed on the broadcast. February 14th, this team's second in the league.
Nipping at Utah's heels.
Yeah, right behind Utah.
Yeah.
And there it is.
There it is.
And then it just slowly, got away from him. February 14th, that's when AD got hurt. Then Gasol goes into the health safety protocol, and then Dennis Schroeder went in there missed 4 games, and LeBron got hurt, and everyone knows the story. But 2nd to 3rd to 5th to 6th, and then tomorrow kind of will solidify where you end up just about. So
it is
what it is.
It is what it is. And, you know, all teams have suffered a little bit, but I don't think anybody in the team has suffered, you know, in the league, I mean, has suffered quite like the Lakers. Yeah, there's been some teams that have missed some players for the rest of the season, but you talk about the defending champions with LeBron, people were looking at them to at least make it to the finals this year. Now all that just goes away like in a puff. And you know, you can go back and you can think about the Sacramento game, you can think about Toronto game, you can go back and try to capture some games. It's too late. You got to take care of business what's in front of you right now. And it's going to take really a mind over matter, a band of brothers that can go and get it done. It's just like one game. That's what they got to focus on right now. All their energy, a back-to-back game, they got to pour all their energy and try to come up with a win against a team that plays well in Portland and is desperate.
Yeah.
So.
And if AD doesn't play tomorrow, that's another ball handler that you can't have on the court. You know, we haven't even mentioned Talen Horton-Tucker, expected to also miss tomorrow night's game because of a calf injury. So you really are running out of people who can just simply bring the ball up court. You got Caruso, Anthony Davis. If he's out, you have to subtract him. Kuzma, I guess, can do a little dribbling. You really are running out of people to literally bring the ball up court. Lakers really getting crushed by injuries right now.
You made a joke in pregame about Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd.
Yeah, right.
Could be on a 10-day starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Might happen.
Listen, it doesn't matter what broadcast you listen to. National, whether it's us, you know, everyone always says if the Lakers are healthy, and it's turning into a big if. On the other side of that, Clippers finally getting healthy as well, and they're gearing up for the playoffs, and they look real good. 7 guys in double figures tonight.
And this is what we hope for the Lakers, you know, to get some players back, start peaking at the right time. And the Clippers are starting to, you know, model, you know, when to peak, when to start playing well. Kawhi Leonard coming back, Beverly coming back tonight, of course, Paul George, and then you have Jackson and Batum, who's I think is going to be a big help for them. And then Brez, a big, I don't want to say a surprise, but DeMarcus Cousins coming off and doing what he did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he can score the ball. There's no doubt about it. His defense is not spectacular. But a lot of people are talking about Phoenix and Utah. Utah and Phoenix, 1 and 2. Who's going to win that battle? I think they're forgetting about maybe the best team in the West right now. Lakers, can't really count them, just too many injuries. James and Chris, the Clippers are about a week or 2 ahead of the Lakers as far as getting a healthy squad. Kawhi missed about 2 weeks, but he came back a few games ago, and he's doing what he has to do tonight. You know, he doesn't need to score 30 points. Only had half that number tonight. But when you're up by that many from really the second quarter on, it's a cruise control game for him.
And then the teams that do get that week off for practice time, I think this year in particular, it's going to be a huge advantage.
It's crucial.
Huge.
Yeah, it's crucial. Well, let's look at the remaining 6 games because Lakers right now tied with the Portland Trail Blazers with 6 games left to play to get to 72. At Blazers, then you get the Suns and Knicks, both playing good basketball, both at home. Then the Rockets, Pacers, Pelicans.
How about that?
And as we've learned, though, guys, there's no gimme games anymore. I mean, there was a stretch where the Lakers had the Wizards, the Kings, and Toronto at home, and you were thinking, you know what, 2-1 there, possibly 3-0, and you go 0-3. So you can't even look at a game there and say, well, it looks good. Who knows?
Yeah, it's tempting, James, right, to look at the last 3 and say, oh, Houston's, you know, they've been a dead team for a month now. Pacers barely going to get into the play-in situation, it looks like. And the Pelicans, they're a game or 2, a loss or 2, I should say, away from being eliminated from the Western Conference playoff picture. But even then, Geet, like you said, you know, when you go 0-3 against that string of teams, you know, Washington, Sacramento, Toronto, teams that equally are in bad shape, like the 3 teams at the end of the Lakers schedule now, you just can't take anything for granted.
Go ahead, James.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the rest of the league and fans are starting to look how this is shaping up, and they're looking at Warriors-Lakers in a playing game. And to the rest of the league, that looks like a lot of fun. I can't lie to you.
Yeah,
it doesn't look fun to us that are going to be involved in it.
There's one problem, and that's Steph Curry.
His name's Steph Curry.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, this is where I forgot what I was going to say, but we find ourselves in a situation where we've never been before, and so it's unknown. All I know is tomorrow night it has to be done. That's just the bottom line. I can't even think anything outside of that.
Yeah, let's take it one game at a time. You're right. It's a cliche, but it's kind of how they got to look at it. They can't look at the playing game. You got to just see what's in front of you. And right now, it's the Portland Trailblazers. Both teams in desperate to win. One team is won, I think, 6 of 7. The other one's lost 8 of 11. Yeah. So trending in different directions. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. Let's get to the highlights. Battle of LA underway. Lakers taking on their city rivals, Clippers.